What's happening?
I'm excited, Ed.
Why are you excited?
It's Friday.
It is Friday.
End of the week, man. I had a good week. How about yourself?
I've had a great run. I've had a great, like 3 weeks, but we'll talk about that in a
You've
second.
been traveling a while, a little bit, rather.
Yeah, like a road warrior. Yeah,
Okay.
but nothing really different than this time of year.
Okay.
In the old job either.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
always
yeah.
on the road, trying to get out and talk to as many salespeople and leaders as I can.
Hey, by the way, are you seeing any TSA problems? I forgot to ask you about this.
My wife keeps telling me you better get to the airport early. I haven't seen any.
Okay, there you go.
I've been through Atlanta, Dallas. Where else? At San Francisco, nothing.
No issues. No issues. All right. Good enough.
I probably just jinxed myself. I'm flying out of Atlanta tonight.
I'm saying I got to fly out Monday. That's why I'm asking. Yeah.
No, I've seen nothing. I've seen nothing.
Cool.
I don't know.
Yeah.
They claim it's going to happen.
All right. Let's hope not.
Hey, in the chat, real quick. In the chat, we're giving away more money. We gave a bunch of money away based on the Super Bowl winner. And I'm still trying to figure out some of those
I don't think they understand because they don't have history with you.
What's
the fact that you actually give out money is impressive. Because you're kind of cheap with the money.
I'm trying to, what's that term? Ingratiate myself to my new team.
Ingratiate.
I'm gonna buy their love.
By the way, none of them have their cameras on. It's like I think they're too shy. I don't know what happened. Nobody wants to put their face on this thing.
It's Friday.
It's Friday.
Maybe
they got facial Fridays or something. I don't know.
No, see the thing about facial, they can have facial hair here.
Okay.
The Rollins brands, they don't have to shave. Like my old gig, as you know, we had to be like the Yankees.
Clean cut.
We had to be all buttoned up.
Got it.
But in the chat, we're giving away some money, and the only thing you need to do is you need to post the winners in the chat the men's tournament and the women's tournament, right? So we're gonna play both of those out. Each one of those winners, we're gonna give away $500.
Nice.
Depending on the number of winners, we're gonna do a random draw. We're gonna do it live on our broadcast, which is going to be April 15th next month.
Was it $1,000 a winner?
No, $500 we're going to give away for the men's tournament and $5 for the women's.
Yeah.
And then we're going to we'll pull the winners on the broadcast.
Very cool.
And we'll get that out that way.
All right, that sounds good.
Stoked, so
all right,
put
we got two brave people.
All right, there you go.
We got
Mark's in there.
Lisa Shipman, who's willing to put her face on that camera, and Corey, the Big H himself, is with us also.
Matt's in the studio. Come on, now we need some other folks posting in that chat.
They're like nobody. Everybody's got what?
Matt can't win.
One here.
He's not. We're not going to let Matt.
Nah,
win.
he's not going to get. But anyway, so put it. So let me see. Matt's got. Oh yeah. Matt, come on, put it in there.
Nobody wants to win $500.
They're probably not following March Madness. All right. Let me see. Josiah Smith, JS in the car cruising. You're not cruising. Just tell me you're parked.
You need to thank him because you got Clark gear on.
Dude, is this? I'm telling you right now, Clark.
Sweet.
Best swag of all of them. All of them. This is like, check out the lines, quality. I feel like I'm, I'm just like, yeah. So, Clark is awesome. Clark is awesome.
We continue to beg for gear and clothing, right? So
all the other brands have to game up. I mean, this is like the best swag I've had.
I've heard promises. People have promised they're going to send stuff. There's one guy I can see his picture on there. He promised to send them some stuff, but we got nothing.
By the way, the highest compliment I can give this one is I want to get one personalized now for me.
Oh,
you know, I mean, that's how much I like this one.
That's
this
pretty
is
sweet.
nice.
I'm sporting a Rollins Way one. So I'm walking around the home office a couple weeks ago. I saw Emily Nowak and said, oh, boy, that's pretty nice. She said, you want one? I said, I'd love one.
There you go.
So I was in Dallas this week, and I got back, and sitting on my desk was my Rollins Way. I haven't washed it yet, so hopefully.
Okay. This was still pressed.
I'm
begging for swag.
What else? Anybody else playing in the tournament?
No? Nobody else is playing. Jessica doesn't know what's going on. She's like, I don't even know about basketball. I don't care. This is not my thing. Unless you're golfing. I don't even know her. She's like, so we got, who's iPad ROL?
Nice.
It's home team. You got the big bun on your head. You're looking at me right now. Wave at me. No, she won't. She's talking to somebody else.
Yeah.
She's totally focused on something else.
All right, cool.
All right.
What have you been doing?
Let me see. I just got back from Newark, New Jersey. Have you been to the new terminal in Newark?
I have not.
Because every time I go through Newark, it's like, I thought it was fourth world, not even third world. That's how bad it was.
Typically try to avoid it.
No, the new airport, at least the concourse for Delta, is just beautiful. It looks very international.
Newark.
Very new. Yeah, Newark. I know. You got to say that 3 times.
Okay.
Newark. Beautiful.
Wow.
Gorgeous. So anyway, I was doing an event. There's a two-day sales training for in Spanish. So I had to do that with two full days in Spanish. These are all entrepreneurs, business people, and we talked about this off camera. Is that the people that are in that room, Ed?
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at them, you go, okay, the average person, but they got $3 million business, $5 million business, $10 million. The highest I saw was almost $15 million business.
Wow.
And they were there to learn sales and marketing, which is what we talked about. So it was good. How about yourself?
Yeah, I like I said, mentioned a little bit earlier, I've been having a blast. So I've had the opportunity to just get out into the field and meet salespeople and sales leaders. And I'll go back to a couple of weeks ago, I was out at Clark. I went out to the West Coast.
You said they were your favorites.
No, I did not say that. I did not say that they were my favorites. He's lying. He's trying to get me in trouble. But I did have a great time out there. I hung around with Frank and Kirk, the two sales managers, and Brad as well. And they went around in like little pods, and they had sales meetings, like mini sales kickoffs, where they bring in 15 or 20 salespeople with their operations managers at the same time. And they held them in the branches, really, really cool. They fed them really well in the morning. So I had a chance to talk to those groups. So that was super fun.
That's cool.
And just hanging out with the sales managers. Kirk was my driver. Like he was my Uber guy. In fact, one time we went to dinner one night and two of us sat in the back seat and he was driving us. So he was looking for a 5-star rating. But no, just a great experience. And what I'm finding is the cultures that are out there are just rather unique. And just a blast.
This is going to be exciting for you.
Like
for those who don't know, like you've been with Orkin for how many years?
42.
42. So this is your time to kind of branch out and work with other brands. So this is kind of different for you.
And I'm super stoked. And then just this week I was down in Dallas at the Home Team. Home Team has a model that is really kind of like old Orkin model where they have a lot of sales managers.
Okay.
Like they have branch sales managers. So their span of control with their sales management is anywhere from like they'll have a sales manager in a branch with 4 or 5 salespeople, up to 7 or 8 salespeople. So really shorter span of control than, I mean, that's like old Orkin when I was here in the 80s. My first leadership
almost
role
like
was
little micro teams.
Yeah.
I don't think I've come across a company who does a manager for 7 people. Yeah, 7 people.
And typically I think most of the models we're seeing are, 20, 25 folks, attached to a region sales manager. But the Home Team model is very different and obviously very successful. But
that's kind of cool. It's almost like, if you think about children in classrooms, excuse me, it's like you want small classroom size so you can impact the students more. I would think this is almost the same model.
I think it's very similar. They're on an aggressive hiring approach, so that will be good to support those. I always worry about a sales manager, a sales leader that gets north of 15, 20 direct reports or indirect reports, kind of dotted line reporting like most of those roles are. When they get too many, and particularly when they get new ones, if you think if you got 25 folks, you're kind of saying grace over, and 5 or 6 of them are new. That's a worry card for me. I mean, like even Zig Ziglar couldn't pull that off with 5 or 6 new guys.
Yeah, you got me thinking. You got my head spinning because I'm wondering if there's any data out there that if the smaller the team, the more tighter the team, like 5 to 7, is more effective. Let's say. Than 10 to 15.
Yeah, and I don't know. I think at Orkin, I think it became like an affordability thing, like a profitability. What does it take to put a sales leader in place?
Right ratio,
Like how many? What to kind of pay your way, right? You got to pay the guy or the gal that's the sales leader.
Right.
Do they have enough support, and are they growing the business enough to support that? But obviously, it seems to be certainly working at Home Team. I mean, they had
good for them.
They had a great year. What else?
Nothing much, man. We got obviously Robert Azam is out there. Thank you for putting on the camera. Appreciate you.
Bradley's with us. Blackman's here. Good deal.
Timothy's leaning back with his cap, just like
Smith.
man.
He looks like he's pretty.
And he's got the beard going, the whole thing.
Awesome.
Awesome. I love that.
Let's get moving and let's talk about some numbers because I think the content that I want to talk about today is the result of kind of my visits and my travels over the last 3 or 4 weeks, particularly. Getting out and talking to salespeople. So we're going to talk about that. But before we do that, I want to share some numbers, company-wide numbers. Again, Victor, we do not have sales numbers yet. We're getting closer.
All right.
I had a call with the sales leaders, the senior sales leaders of all the brands.
Is this Julie again?
Last week. It's Julie. We're going to blame Julie because it's just easier. But at the end of the day, all I have to report for you are revenue numbers, which are really good and really stellar. So they're going to be fun to share. So for the month of February, residential revenue for the brands, for the Rollins brands, all these folks rolled up together, $67 million, a 12% year-over-year increase.
Man.
Just staggering. Right?
Rocket.
12%.
Nice. Coming
out of some really, I guess maybe in a lot of parts of the country, some really tough weather, the first couple of months. Year to date, $137 million, up 11.5%. So just
double digits.
Clicking that double digit. The termite business, these folks are crushing the termite business. $23 million worth of termite revenue in February, a 17% year-over-year increase. Let me forget about it.
17.
17.
Nice.
$46 million year to date in termite revenues, up 18%. So maybe 17 was, you missed a little bit. I mean, just stellar. I mean, just crazy stellar. Commercial, we need some work. You got to do some work on the commercial side. We've got those folks at 3 o'clock this afternoon. But 21.5 million, a 7% increase year over year. Respectable. Yeah, respectable. Not what we want. Not what we're chasing. That double.
We're so demanding. We're so demanding.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, the expectations are there. 43 million year to date, up 7.5%. So we'll get that one there. You roll it all together. You pull it all together. Or in the month of February, $112 million of revenue generated by the brands. Wow. At a 12% increase year over year, and 225 for year to date. Again, that 12%.
225 year to date.
Yeah, $225 million year to date. Just crazy good. And that's just outstanding. So congrats to all you folks out there getting after it and keeping those customers with us.
Amazing numbers.
The other thing that we can't really talk about on these broadcasts, it always gets a little iffy because some of these get recorded and I put them on YouTube. The profit, we can't share deep details.
What's the profitability?
I'm not going to tell you that because I don't want to go to jail.
Just want to make sure.
But at the end of the day, just suffice to say that the Rollins brands had a strong February, and they're having a strong start to the year.
Papa Rollins is happy.
Mr. Gary Rollins is happy, Victor. He is not called Papa Rollins. He is not. And Mr. Gayloff's happy.
This will be my last broadcast.
And Mr. Gayloff's happy, and certainly Stanford Phillips, who kind of heads up all this, and all their leaders are just tickled with what's going on there.
These are great numbers, by the way.
Yeah.
Congratulations to everybody.
Really strong.
Okay.
So the content, I'm thinking about, you know how I work. I mean, when stuff comes, I'm an observer. So as I've been traveling around, I've just been watching. I often don't take the stage often, enough. In my mind, I want to have more to talk about. In fact, the guys at Home Team, I got in trouble there because I thought I'd have the stage more, and I even took a shot at him, like, you guys didn't give me the stage, Okay. So I feel like I'm the outsider, but certainly everyone has made me feel very, very welcome.
Okay.
Very, very welcome. But as I'm traveling around, I just keep hearing this. It just keeps resonating. We had Amy Chapman who runs the sales for Corteva, the Centricon folks. She's the rep for Rollins. She reps the whole thing. She did a presentation yesterday in Dallas at the Home Team sales leadership meeting that was really spot on. They brought in a couple of outside vendors, a couple of outside guys like you, some gurus. In my mind, not nearly as good as you, but they brought in some folks to speak to the team. And even some of my feeds, you know me, I'm that consummate junkie taking stuff in. All the feeds I'm getting lately have been on listening, right? Active listening, be a better listener, blah, blah, blah. We hear all that all the time. But the other thing I think that's important, as our season starts to break, it's time. It's March Madness. So I always associated March Madness with the weather change and the bugs doing their part. Okay. And I got a good friend that said, hey, the bugs are doing their part. We got to go do our part, right? We got to start doing our piece now. But that coming in and that the schedules are going to get a little more full. Sitting out there with Clark, the termites were already swarming in California. And so I'm sitting next to the sales guy. I'm like, how's your day look today? Just being curious. How's your day look? He said, man, I think I'm overbooked. And I'm like, what? He said, no. I said, who the hell decided to have a sales meeting when the termites are swarming? Right. So I took the sales leaders to task a little bit on that. Okay. But at the end of the day, they were in there for half a day and they got out there and got after it. But I worry that when we get busy, we have a tendency to stop listening. So I said, let's talk about listening and those skill sets. And I know you put a couple of slides together to kind of walk through this. We've talked about it a bunch. Yes, a lot. And everybody talks about it. Obviously, it's kind of what's feeding my brain, and that's why we're talking about it today. But let's break that down, particularly with the time of year that we're getting into, when folks can get to rushing too much. So you take it from there a little bit. Yeah, I mean, there's a correlation. When you look at, let's say, close rates, and when close rates go down, it's usually because we're not listening or we're doing something wrong with the client. So let me share some numbers on listening that I think you might find interesting. Now, let's accept the fact that listening is hard. The big question is, why is it hard? Well, here's why listening is hard. The average person speaks at 150 to 180 words per minute, right? But here's the problem. The brain processes information at about 500 to 800 words per minute. So you begin to see the problem, Ed, that the person's talking and our brain is running ahead because it's wired to kind of consume more information. It's almost like the input is slow, but the output is just, the processing speed is higher. Yep. And so we have a tendency to want to step over our clients. Any comments on that? I just think about even clients. Just think about yourself when you're talking to somebody and you're like, all right, go ahead and get to it. Get to it. Yep. Get to it. Or get to the point. Get to the point. That kind of thing, right? And I think we find ourselves in that situation all the time with customers. To where they tell, oh hey, I got termites over here, and I think one of the problems that we have is that we don't listen because we've already seen it. Like particularly for our veteran salespeople, Hey, I've seen that. This is nothing, man.
Yeah.
I've seen this 72 times in my career.
Yeah,
right?
they've been around a long time. I've been here 50 years. I know this
I know
already.
that.
Just shut up, get to the point. Let me tell you what you need.
Yeah, but I think just think about the conversations that you're in and realizing that, you're trying to hurry people through things.
Yeah.
And that's the last thing that the person that's speaking wants you to do.
Yeah.
Right? Like almost like just disingenuous. Like,
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sometimes like,
Yeah.
move on.
Come on, move on. Hey, by the way, I want to start a war here.
Okay.
I want to start a fight.
Okay.
All right. So who do you think are better listeners? Men or women?
Boy, why you
Put that in the chat. I'm throwing it out there. Come on, men or women? Who listens better, men or women? Come on. Let's see.
You've got the data on this, I hope.
Yeah. Elizabeth says women. Why does that not surprise me, Elizabeth? Why does that not surprise me? Okay. Lee says women. Lee is a smart man.
I love
Lee,
this.
you're a smart man. He's like, I'm not falling for that one, Victor.
Look at Isabella. Even the men know it's women.
Yeah.
Right.
Let me see. Who said men? Raul Corrales said men.
Corey, my wife.
Raul, I feel for you, brother. I feel for you.
You're going to have a tough way to go, brother.
Yeah, we're going to send that to your wife, your spouse, whatever it is. All right, let's walk into why listening is hard. Let me go through 7 rules of listening. Here they are. I'll go through them real quick, and then we'll comment on these. 1, you have to almost remind yourself to be patient when you're talking to somebody. Again, too often we just want to run through the conversation. Even if you know what they're going to say, you gotta let them say it. They need to voice their opinions. Don't say things like this one. I hear a lot. Yeah, or and that just basically rushes somebody along. Like basically you're saying, hurry up. I know where you're going. Don't finish someone's line or thought. Again, it sends the signal that you're being impatient or worse, that you're annoyed by their talking. Ask a combination of open and ended questions. Again, open questions are to gather information. Close-ended questions to confirm what you just heard. Take notes. We'll talk about that one. And last but not least, also listen with your eyes as well. Which one of these 7 pop out at you?
I think, they're all strong, right? I think the first one, and just my recent experience, right, is remind yourself to be patient. Right. So I'm attending all these sales meetings. And you know how I'm wired. I want to be center stage. I want to be talking about. I want to chime in, right?
Because you've been with Orkin how many years?
42. That's the second time you told me how old I am. But yes, I am.
No, you've been around 40 plus years, right? So it's like you know a lot. Yeah. And so
literally, it took me to the point where I was just, I'm very cognizant of zip your mouth up, Ed. It's not your turn. You're not talking. It's not time. Like almost sitting on my hands, right? To just kind of get that mental approach that I got. And I think you got to remind yourself going in when somebody starts talking and they start, and because you have that tendency like, oh boy, here he goes again.
Yeah.
Or I heard this before. Intentionally walking into that appointment, even if you're stacked up and you got 4 places to go, you may be running behind.
Yeah.
You're there. You're there. Listen to that person. You almost have to be, I think you have to be intentional about it.
Yeah, you have to be, it's almost like in the moment. I hate to be existential about this, but you have to be in the moment and just stay in there. Yeah, by the way, out of curiosity,
put that slide back up for him.
Put the 7 up, and which one of these resonates with you that it's maybe a sin you commit? Pick one. Everybody pick one. Just pick one that you say, I got to get better at this one, or this is one I do.
Can I sign up that I commit all these sins?
Yeah, we've done them all. I want to highlight number 7, which is listen with your eyes as well, which means if I know my content, and I know my content well, I have time to observe body language and facial expressions. And I think sometimes you get some good reads there, some good signals.
Yeah, like the lookaways, right? When they look down, right? When they look down, they might be reflective. Maybe they might be trying to figure out what you're saying.
Yep.
If they're slipping to the side and they're looking away, they're disinterested.
Yeah.
You got to reset
when they break eye contact sideways.
Yeah.
I want you to really just register this. Everybody who's watching this broadcast. Watch somebody's eyes. If they dart sideways, that means they're ignoring you. It's almost like a no. Yeah. So, by the way, it's all over the board here. Number 4, Clark Josiah has 4. 4.
Yeah, don't finish someone's thought.
Yep.
Right?
Number 2 is even if you know what they're going to say. That's a big one to me. You said that already. It's like you know what they're going to say, but you feel the need to, let me finish it for you.
Yeah.
And that just really tells that's such a turnoff when somebody steps on your conversation.
Some of the stuff that Amy Chapman shared from Corteva, they got this big monster marketing machine, right? I mean, it's Dow AgroSciences that own them, right? So it's a multiple billion-dollar company.
Wow.
And they do all these studies, and she shared like the 5 things that are going on in today's market on how people buy. And this just like hammered home, like, you got to hear them out. You got to hear them out. They have to hear it, no matter how much you know.
Yeah.
You got to let them tell you, so they then own that. You know,
like my wife is one of these people. Like, she makes all the real decisions at home, right?
Yeah.
You know, and so she really has to explain.
Yeah.
And she doesn't like to be cut off. She doesn't get mad or anything, but she's like, we're not buying from that person. She'll have that look on her face, like, you're not listening to me.
Yeah.
Even though you know what she's going to say, she wants to finish.
Yeah.
And then she's willing to listen. So yeah.
Yeah, and I think the other piece that comes into that is you have all this knowledge. You've been through all this training. You know so much stuff.
Yes.
You don't need to rush it all out.
Yep.
Right. You got to try to figure out what to do. And I don't know if put the numbers back up there, but the nodding is one that I think we need to talk about. I don't think it's in there in a bullet.
Right.
But just talk about the use of the nod, the head nod.
Yeah, I think people are uncomfortable with dead silence. So one study showed that if you ask an open-ended question and the person stops talking, if you just nod, you know, just up and down, just nod, you'll extract 25% more information. In other words, the more information you have, the better you'll be able to position your offer to them.
Yeah, just think about that. You've asked an open-ended question. They share a few things with you, right? They tell you a couple things, and maybe you don't have enough yet.
Yeah.
Or you use the head nod, so they'll give you more, and you just say, yeah.
And by the way, I always tell people, practice this during your social interactions. Like, you ever go to dinner with somebody or a couple or whatever it may be, and let them talk, ask them a question about their vacation, and just practice staying quiet and doing the nod.
And I think the other thing that the nod does certainly gives the chance to pull more information out. But I think what it also does, I've always used it as kind of a reset. Like, maybe I don't know exactly what to say yet, right? So I just use that head nod as a pause to, like, get my thoughts together on where I'm going next.
Yeah.
Because I'm trying to path this thing to the sale, obviously.
Right.
So I take that minute to get my stuff together to kind of take in everything they said. And they may give you another piece of golden bullet, right?
You know, to your point, Ed, you know, that nod is almost like a signal also, right? Yeah. Is that if you said something to me, and then I go, it shows that I'm thinking about it. Or some people may think that, oh, he doesn't know. No, usually it means you're being reflective, and then the other person, the buyer, registers like, okay, he's really considering what I just said.
And even if you get more aggressive and you give a heavy nod, right? That shows that you're on the same page with them. You get it, right?
Oh, I've seen salespeople do this to me. They'll nod to go, yeah. It's like, you have a point, Victor. You know, here's what I would add to that. And that's what I always love that. When they go, here's what I would add to that. It's almost like layering something on top of what I just said.
Amen. Throw that list back up there, Matt, again, please. 1, 5. What's 5? What was 5?
5 is add a combination.
Combination. Yeah.
Again, if you just do close-ended questions like, how long have you been here?
Yeah.
You know, when do you plan to move? You know, no. That's like an interrogation. That's not a conversation.
Exactly.
To me, I think that it's almost like a 3-to-1 ratio. 3 open-ended, 1 closed-end is the ratio I would use.
And the closed-end question, I think, is best positioned as kind of confirmation of an answer to an open-end.
Yes.
So I think, Victor, what I hear you say, or am I understanding this correctly, that this is how you feel about that? And then you pin that down, and then you know you got something to lean into.
Right. And remember the rule of consistency. Once we agree, I told you off camera that we're getting a new air conditioning system. The salesperson was horrible, right? But what was interesting is that I was waiting for him to use what I call advancing language. This is what I mean by this. It's like he would say, so what you've said so far is you need new air conditioning, you don't plan to move, and it's something that you're willing to spend a little extra money for because you want something that's quiet. That's what I call forward momentum language.
Absolutely.
Because then I would have said, yes. And then it's like, I've committed to those 3 bullet points. And so let's say later on, if you were a better salesperson, if I said, well, let me get another bid or look at another system, I said, you're not going to find anything quieter than ours on the market. You know what I mean? He didn't do that to me.
Absolutely.
I was disappointed.
Absolutely. Anything else that we got out there?
We got a lot of ones in here, and I think the 1 is the big one where you have to kind of sit on your hands and not say something.
Yeah, intentional, right? Intentional listening.
Yep. And the last slide here, just to kind of close this out, the listening mindset should be, the more information I get by closing my mouth, the easier it'll be to close the sale. Speed up or slow down to speed up a sale.
Yeah, exactly. And take it out of the sales realm and think about, like, if you ever walked away from a conversation and say, man, I just had a great conversation with Corey, right?
Yep.
I had a great conversation with Corey. If you had the AI drones kind of hovering over that conversation, I think what you will find is that you did most of the talking.
Which is why it was a great conversation.
Which is why it was a great conversation. So you think you're in a sales situation, sure, you got to give them facts and you got to educate them on some stuff. But at the end of the day, they want to buy for what they want to buy, right?
Yep.
You're filling in some blanks. So maybe, I don't know what the percentages would be, but you come out of a conversation where, man, I had a great conversation with Victor. I really like that sales guy.
See, and this is an important mind shift because, the old school is always like, be a smooth talker, control the flow of the whole thing. But really, you don't have to work so hard. You just have to ask good questions, quality questions, and let them talk, and they'll feel good because they're getting the information out. You show them that you understand what they want, and it becomes an easier sale. So it's not about being a great talker. We've talked about this. The average salesperson practices what to say. The best salespeople practice what to ask.
Amen.
Yep.
Amen. And I think that's, as you get in your time, spend some time working through your open-ended questions and how you pin that stuff down. But at the end of the day, take note of conversations that you have with people and see if that stat doesn't hang out and say, man, I had a great conversation with that dude. I really liked him. Right?
Yeah.
You want people to like you? Listen to him.
Yeah.
It sounds so simple and so basic.
It's hard to execute, though.
Well, 100%. Yeah, I said I'm guilty of all 7 of them, right? But you get into a situation, particularly this time of year, when you get busy and you don't know how the heck you're going to get to the next one, right? Just be cognizant of you're there, be there, slow down, and listen, and just get.
I like your word intentional.
Yeah,
I think it's a good word.
And like almost like, okay, your self-talk before you walk in.
Yep.
You look in the mirror. I'm the best salesman walking the planet. I'm going to go win this business for my family. And again, I got to remember, because I'm a knucklehead, I got to be intentional. I got to let them talk more than me.
Yes.
Right. So what else? Anything else?
Nope.
Anything else in the chat? Anybody put anything in?
We got a bunch of 1s in there.
Cool.
Jessica with a 5. And this last slide, I think you wanted to talk about this.
Which one? Throw that one up there. So as I've been traveling around, I've been getting all these mission statements, and I promise you, I'll be out to the Sailor team, and I'll be out to the Fox team here shortly, as soon as I clear a little bit of time. But I anticipate sometime in May, Corey and Hayden, I'll head out your way. But getting down to this, as I travel around, this is just a picture, Victor, I took of a plaque, and I did a little AI. I kind of manipulated. It was just a picture, just a little small 8 by 11 and a half photo that they'd taken of this mission statement. And this is Charlie Clark, the founder of Clark Pest Control. And I just love the mission. Our mission is to exceed client expectations with the most effective pest control. And this is done in the most ethical, professional, responsive, and caring manner. Yeah. And when I got out there, and what I'm finding with all these brands, these folks are locked in on the quality of their service. Yeah. There isn't a person that I met at Clark, a person I've met at Home Team, that isn't 100% convinced that they bring the best service in the industry. And I think that's you almost have to be that way, right?
It's that ethos. You got to sell from that. People always ask me, Victor, how do I become a great salesperson? Like really just next level. And it's like you really have to believe in what you're selling. I know it sounds trite, but then you sell with that ethos. In other words, you get, I don't want to say you get emotional about it, but people are waiting for you to show them confidence. Here's what you need to do. Here's why. And then they see that intentionality, that confidence, and that conviction. That you can't manufacture. No. And it has to go through you, if you know what I mean, and believe it. And a lot of people, when they hesitate, it's because they don't believe what they're selling or they're afraid of what they're selling.
And I would say to the new salespeople out there, that are just hired on, we're going to hire a bunch of people this spring. Go out and visit current customers because they will fill you with that. They will fill you with that. That man, we love our technician. We love the guy that does our work. We love the gal that does our work, and that will give you that what I call maybe the confidence to spin it that way, and the confidence. So when the customer says, "Well, you're like twice as much money as Terminex," you say,
"Yeah,
you're damn right I am. Right? You're damn right I am. Yeah. And here's why, right? Yeah. And I think that will help you in your way.
I think if I were to come up with my own mission statement for selling, it would be, I don't sell, I help. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because you're there to help. You got a problem with your house, I'm there to help you. So, and I've always loved that.
And we got the best team to deliver that help. Yeah. Amen.
By the way, can I just say that I love the name Charlie Clark? Charlie Clark.
I get
Charlie Clark.
From the stories I heard. From the stories I heard about him, he was a really cool dude.
I don't know why, but I pictured him with the bow tie. with suspenders.
I don't know nothing about that.
Yeah.
So maybe one of the Clark people could throw it in there.
Best pest control in the world.
But yeah, I mean, they truly
This is my last broadcast, by the way.
It might be. We held off till the end, sharing our top performers.
Oh, here we go.
We did that intentionally.
Here we go.
So in addition to all the great numbers and all the content we just shared with
money,
you,
people.
Let's go to the scoreboard, Matt, and show them the big hitters in the month of February.
Let's see if Raul Corrales is under.
I don't know. Is he?
I want to see. We'll find out.
Little March Madness theme.
That's that. By the way, who did that?
Brian did that.
Brian?
Yeah, he's awesome with
Well
that.
done.
Yeah, really. I love the way
Good
the
job on the
scoreboard
graphics.
scrolled.
Yeah,
Pretty cool.
that was pro.
Amen.
Yeah, I love that.
Hey, nothing but the best for these folks.
There you go.
Anything jump off the page? A lot of folks in six digits.
But look at that True Tech. I mean, they're just killing it.
154.
Who are these animals?
That's what they are. They're animals.
Yeah.
They're the wildlife group.
Yeah.
They chase raccoons and squirrels and stuff around attics.
Nice.
They truly are animals,
Love
right?
it, man. Iowa was in there. David Hopkins.
Look at
Dylan
that.
Miser. Love that.
Amen.
Brandon.
Down to Fox, you got Brandon. Richard Brera.
Is it Bonnet or Bonet?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Maybe.
All right,
We're just
all right.
getting a new
Sela, Jonathan Carl.
Sayla, get it right.
Sorry.
Get it right. You're going to get in trouble.
131.
Look at the difference between him and his peers, right? That's what I kind of look at.
I mean, that's like almost a $45,000 spread right there.
And what's kind of different about the scoreboards is the brands all kind of count their sales a little different.
Right.
You know, so it's really not apples to apples.
Yeah,
it's fairly close. But when you get them inside the brands, it's apples to apples. So no super deal there.
Home team
rocking it.
Dustin,
right?
Jonathan Braverman.
I met a bunch of those dudes this week when I was in Dallas. So what they did, they brought all the sales managers in, but they also brought the top salesperson from each region as kind of a reward.
Yeah.
I think most of them are going to President's Club in a couple of weeks anyway.
That's smart, actually.
But they brought them in to experience it because they think they might be the next sales leaders.
Oh, okay.
So here's your reward. You get a trip to, I don't know if a trip to Dallas.
There's some planning ahead going on here.
I think so, but I don't know if a trip to Dallas is what you want, but that's what they got. Yeah. We did go to a Dallas Stars game, which was really cool.
Okay.
Hockey game.
All right.
That's hockey, Victor.
Oh, that's
hockey.
Glad
Victor.
you clarified
Victor's not
that.
a sports fan.
I am not. Brandon Carroll.
Yeah, let me tell you a story about Brandon Carroll. So he was in one of those meetings that I was at Clark, right? And I'm sitting next to him, and we're chatting him up. Great conversation. And I go, "Did you get my gift card?" Right? And he goes, "No." And I'm like, "What do you mean, no?"
No.
I said, so I whip out my phone. I'm like, "Dude, I sent it at this date and this time." And he's looking at. I said, "Brandon Carroll." It says it right there. He goes, "You sent that to my dad." And I'm like, "What?"
wow.
He goes, my dad's a salesman for us too.
Oh, nice.
So I said, we'll get that figured out. The next day I go to the meeting and his dad's in the next meeting. I looked at his dad. I'm like, so you're not going to tell a kid about the $100 Amazon gift card you got? So they got that all figured out. Okay. But yeah, I mean, this brand, he's been there a very short time. Wow. But I mean, just killer. Nice and then the Northwest folks just slaying it as well.
Yeah. Got some good. By the way, we got to get this spelling right or pronounce Bernardo Spielberg.
Yeah, he's the guy from Miami Gardens.
Is he?
You talked to him because that's where he used to live.
Yeah, I've been in that area. Yeah. And my favorite person, I just told you, Catherine the Great Thrasher.
I like
First time on the list. She's going to kill it. I have high hopes for her.
I like that name.
Yeah, great name.
Let's move
By the way, I just want to highlight, Raul is not on the list. I'm just saying, Raul is not on the list. Maybe because he's the only guy that said men are better listeners. That's why Raul's not on the list.
He might be a sales manager for all you know
sorry,
and can't make the list.
Raul.
He'll be there. Well, we appreciate it.
There you go.
Send your complaints to HR on this cat. So what about the rack, the 25K club?
Oh, my
So we
God.
went from 7 in January
We're getting more.
to 9. I'm still not in love with it, folks. We got to do better. But, I mean, certainly some top performers.
Yep.
And a lot of these folks, as you can imagine, are doing both.
Yep.
You know, Dustin Pike was at the top of TrueTech, and he's at the top of rack. So got a couple dudes from
We're going to change the philosophy
Salem.
about rack. We're going to build that number up.
We absolutely
Remember, so we started originally with how many? Doing rack for this group, like 7 was the original number?
Yeah, we had 7 in January.
Okay, so we'll just remember that number. Like, I don't know, a year from now, we'll measure it.
Yeah, 25,000. It'll be a whole bunch. Hopefully, they did some really good rack training at the home team meeting yesterday. I think these folks are just getting ingrained into the rack. So other than that, let's get out of here. Let's do some housekeeping. Throw that last slide up, and we got that mission statement. So I was out at Clark, and we had that mission statement. This is a picture I took of an 8.5 by 11 frame, and just did a little AI to it, but I just love the message, and Charlie Clark just getting after it.
Yep.
Just a couple things getting out of here. There's a whole bunch of folks going to President's Club in Scottsdale in a couple of weeks. I'm looking forward to seeing those faces there. And the other thing I would tell you that when we're out there for President's Club, that Friday of the business meeting, they will announce the new site. You know, they keep it under wraps. I got some insight.
The new site for what?
For next year's President's Club.
Okay.
So it's like a big reveal. And so they'll announce that. The thing I would tell you is that you've got like 10 and a half months left to get after it, right? So that contest just started in January.
Matt, come back to us. There you go. Okay.
So we got that going on, right? So that contest is underway. And the other thing we've got underway, they're going to have a great speaker at President's Club. Kind of a recommendation from you again.
Yep.
The Iron Cowboy, which would be super cool to check him out. Dude's amazing, man. I had a one-on-one with him trying to break down what he's going to talk about.
It's an amazing speaker. By the way, if you don't know who the Iron Cowboy is, was he do 50 Ironmen in 50 days or some crazy number like that? He's online. Yeah. An amazing speaker. I mean, just amazing.
It's going to be nuts. And then, the rack trip, there's 3 or 4 months left to punch your ticket to the rack trip that's going to be out in California, which is going to be a great site. So, and anything else to get out of here?
That's it.
So let's start to leave them with the quote of the day.
Oh.
And what is your handle?
My handle?
Share that with them.
All right.
And then we'll get out of here.
My favorite handle is, if you listen to my podcast called the Sales Influence Podcast, I close out my podcast with this, and I'll close this out with that. That selling ain't hard when you know how. Go sell something.
See ya. Go get it.
Take care.